Today we are driving from Brooklyn to Piermont, New York. This town is located along the Hudson River, just 20 miles north of Manhattan. With a population of about 2,500 people, Piermont is a small village that blends history, charm, and natural beauty. Historic center parking is allowed for 2 hours, but we parked at Municipal Lot D, which is located 1 mile from the main street with cafes and restaurants, down Gare St. The story of Piermont begins long before it became a modern-day getaway. Originally home to the Lenape people, the land was later settled by the Dutch and English in the 1600s. The village's name comes from two of its most striking features: the long man-made pier and the steep rise of Tallman Mountain. Piermont isn't just about scenic beauty, it also has a powerful industrial history. In 1902, workers installed a massive flywheel as part of the Piermont Paper Company's steam-driven electrical system. For 80 years, that flywheel helped power a succession of mills that turned waste paper into cardboard. The steam that drove the flywheel also heated 93 giant rollers, which dried pulp for 2 enormous paper-making machines. Each was longer than a football field, weighing hundreds of tons, and at the time they were among the largest in the world. On stormy nights, locals say you could still hear the rumble of the 25-cycle generator echoing through the village. In 1920, the Robert Gare Company, famous for inventing the cardboard box, took over the mill. At its peak, the mill employed 1,300 people, with more than 85% of the $1.25 million annual payroll going right back into the community. Grocers, butchers, doctors, banks, and local businesses all thrived thanks to the mill. Through 2 world wars and the Great Depression, the flywheel kept spinning. By the end of World War II, the plant was producing up to 480 tons of paperboard every single day. Ownership changed hands several times, and after Cleve Pack bought the site in the 1970s, the mill finally closed in 1982. When the land was redeveloped into Piermont Landing, demolition crews tried to remove the giant flywheel, but even the wrecking ball bounced off. The decision was made to leave it standing, and today it remains in place as a monument to Piermont's industrial past, and to the hard-working men and women who built the village's legacy. The village itself feels like a step back in time. Main Street is lined with 19th-century buildings, many of them restored, housing art galleries, boutique shops, and cozy restaurants. Piermont has a strong artistic spirit, drawing painters, writers, and musicians who come here for inspiration and quiet. Piermont is also a place where history and leisure meet. Once a hub of transportation and industry, it's now a haven for day trippers, outdoor lovers, and anyone looking to slow down. Whether you're strolling the pier, exploring the trails, or enjoying a meal along the waterfront, you'll find that this little village has a way of making you pause and appreciate the view. So if you're searching for a peaceful escape with a story to tell, Piermont, New York is waiting for you on the banks of the Hudson. That pier is still Piermont's most famous landmark. Built in the 1830s by the Erie Railroad, it once stretched nearly a mile into the Hudson, making it the longest structure of its kind on the river. It wasn't just a marvel of engineering, it was a lifeline of connection. During World War II, thousands of American soldiers embarked from this pier on their way to fight overseas. Today it's a peaceful place for walking, fishing, and watching sunsets, with sweeping views of the river and the Mario M. Cuomo Bridge in the distance. Nature is another part of Piermont's identity. Just outside the village is Tallman Mountain State Park, offering hiking trails through woodlands, picnic spots, and scenic overlooks of the Hudson Valley. The river itself is always close by. You'll find kayakers, sailors, and bird watchers enjoying the waterfront. As we walk back from the end of the pier, the Hudson stretches wide and calm to the right, while to the left stand quiet gated communities with houses that boast private waterfront views.